If you measure them by physical stature, then these athletes are considered small. But if the measure is heart, well, then they stand among the tallest. And when tonight's competition is all over, one of these teams will prevail as a champion. Welcome to the top collegiate gymnastics championship in America. It's the Pac-10 Championships, and it's next on Fox Sports Net. They call it the Valley of the Sun, but today all the attention will be under the spotlights inside Wells Fargo Arena. Come on inside on campus at Arizona State University as FSN presents the 2007 Pac-10 Women's Gymnastics Championships. Hi, everybody. I'm Jim Watson alongside Olympic gold medalist Amanda Borden. The Pac-10, again, one of the best conferences in the country. 5 teams in the top 25, and this is always a great meet.
That's right. Behind the SEC, the Pac-10 has some of those most dominant gymnastics teams. Of course, Stanford, the defending champs, also ranked 5th in the country. They have junior leadership in Tabitha Yim and Liz Tracas. However, this year they've picked up freshman sensation Carly Janiga. She is amazing at uneven bars, but more importantly, consistent across the board, posting 4 events, 4 high scores. She also is from Phoenix, Arizona, so she's going to have a lot of fans in the stands tonight.
Yeah, consistency and maturity for Carly Janiga of Stanford. Jamie Lands of Oregon State is coming in, a hot gymnast right now. Coming off her best all-around of her career, she's the Pac-10 Gymnast of the Week.
What makes her so impressive is her consistency. She's the one the team counts on to post big scores across the board on all four events.
UCLA is once again loaded. Tasha Schweiker carrying the family legacy and the high expectations of the UCLA program with 5 NCAA titles.
Well, she has the experience. She was a 2004 Olympian. She also won this event in 2005. She is probably the most dynamic athlete out on the floor, and she's looking to help UCLA recapture another Pac-10 title.
April Boone grew up in Seattle, but she's been in Tempe the last 4 years, carrying the hopes of the home folks with the 3rd highest all-around in the conference.
Well, she's great at the all-around. Her 2 big events right here, floor, and of course the balance beam. She posted a 10 on that event this year. But also ASU's got the hometown advantage.
Yeah, they decimated by injury, so a good performance by April Boone can go a long way towards healing the pride of the program. It's a springboard to the regionals and the nationals. The Pac-10 Gymnastics Championships coming up next from ASU on FSN. Wells Fargo Arena on campus at Arizona State University in Tempe. It's the 2007 Pac-10 Gymnastics Championships on FSN. It is the Pac-10, but only 7 teams, of course, fielded in the Pac-10. 4 apparatus, so that means 3 teams are going to have to sit out each time around. 5 individual champions, 1 on each event, and of course, our all-around champion. Defending champion Tabitha Yim from Stanford. She is here again this year. Let's take a look at our rotations. California going to start on the vault, and Oregon State on the bars, ASU on the beam, UW on the floor, Arizona, Stanford, and UCLA sitting out rotation number 1. And we will start on the vault with California's Jessica Kelly, who comes in with some momentum. A career high in the all-around last time out.
She's going to be performing a vault. We're going to see a lot today. Yurchenko full. A lot of these athletes are very dynamic on this event, so it comes down to the landing. Good form in the air. You can see quite a big step there on the landing, so that will be a 10th, even maybe 2 tenths on the deductions.
Let's move over to the beam, and Arizona State's Cassandra Giacino, 5'1" senior from Gresham up near Portland, Oregon. Season high on this, 9.95, so she's got some skills.
Well, this can be such a tough event to start on. You have a lot of adrenaline. You're the hometown team, a lot of pressure. They've actually had one score of a 9.175 before her, so that puts even more pressure right there. You can see not what ASU wants right now. That means they'll definitely be counting a score that they didn't really want to be counting on this event.
And Amanda, there's 2 schools of thought. Of course, when you're the home folks, you know, you get to sleep in your own bed, and it's your gym where you practice, but of course there's more distractions, your family and friends around, and it's a home meet. Everybody thinks you have an advantage.
That's right. A lot of people in the stands watching, and you know, on this event, pressure can be hard to handle. A lot of excitement. Little wobble there on the full turn. They have 6 athletes up, meaning they can drop 1 score, 5 scores count. Getting ready for the dismount off the end, gainer pike. Very nice landing.
A nice recovery after the bobble early on. You can see it's bothering her, it was in her head throughout the routine, but you just got to set it aside and worry about it later. Let's go now to the floor exercise, and Ashley Houting, and this is one of the most anticipated routines of the entire afternoon. Ashley Houting with a 9.975 on the floor last time out. We'll meet against Seattle Pacific up in Seattle. The highest score, not only in the Pac-10, but the highest score in the nation this year, and this is her event.
This is the event. She's very dynamic and very exciting to watch. Something that we're going to be looking for, of course, is the landings on the tumbling. It can be very dynamic. This first event out, can you control the power is the question.
She's going through a routine in her mind right now. New head coach at the University of Washington, John Bowers. And they struggled a little bit this year. They were just 1-5 in conference, but getting better as the season wore on, and they beat Seattle Pacific in that final meet, looked pretty good in doing it. And Houting individually tied with ASU's April Boone, UCLA's Tasha Schweikert for the best floor exercise average at 9.89.
First tumbling pass. Opening with a beautiful front double full. Great landing. Going to turn right around and come back again. 1.5, front layout half, a little jump there on the landing. It's always so fun to watch college athletes on this event. They have a lot of performance, a lot of facial expression. They're having a great time.
Well, especially on the floor, you want your personality to come out, you want to sell it, you want to engage the judges and the crowd, get everybody involved.
Beautiful double pike again, right there. That's what makes the difference, those perfect landings. Beautiful leap series showing great flexibility. Nice job.
Solid effort by Ashley Houting of the University of Washington. Her coach applauds the effort. Now it's up to the judges. As I mentioned, last time out for her, a 9.975, top mark in the nation this year. To the beam, Arizona State's Nicole Harris, a sophomore from Long Beach, New York. And Arizona State has no room for error on this event.
That's right. When you have a mistake or you're counting a score you don't want to count, puts added pressure on the bottom of the lineup. Nicole Harris, very experienced, performing in the all-around as well for ASU. So if anybody can handle it, I think she can do it. Right here, flight series, back handspring, full twist, very difficult.
Held on. Nicole Harris has had some success on the beam this year, a 9.950, which was the second best beam score in the Pac-10.
Beautiful front aerial, the sheep jump. She has great flexibility, as you can see right there, coming down to the beam. It's been a very solid routine so far. Very nice 1.5 turn. All that's left is the dismount. And for a clean landing, round off double full. Very nice. That was a great recovery and will be a big score for ASU.
Yeah, not a lot wrong with that routine. And ASU is strong on the beam. We'll talk about that more when we go back. But right now, over to the bars. And Jamie Lands, Oregon State, one of our featured all-arounds today. Coming off a huge meet last time out, a career in the all-around.
Very nice release move, starting the routine off. Like we mentioned, very consistent. Beautiful giant full, giant blind. Straddle back handstand. The judges on this event are looking for clear vertical handstands right here. Maybe a little short there. Winding up for the dismount. Beautiful double layout. Slight hop there on the landing.
Jamie Lance, 5th in the Pac-10 this year overall in terms of average on the bars. Let's go back to the beam, and ASU's April Boone, another of our featured athletes from the top. And Arizona State, you would think, would be strong on the beam because their graduate assistant coach, Ashley Kelly, the Pac-10 champion in this event in both 2004 and 2005. And April Boone, and you mentioned it at the top, Amanda, had a perfect score on this event earlier this year.
That's right. Very difficult to get a perfect 10 on an event like the balance beam. Getting ready for a tumbling series. Back handspring layout. Pretty close to perfect there. Very nice leap series. Switch leap to straddle jump. She anchors this event not only because she's consistent, but she has great skills and can hit the skills. Gainer layout, slight balance check there. You can see in her face she's very confident on this event, and I'll tell you the key to being good at the balance beam under pressure is confidence. She gets ready for a dismount. Round off double tuck. Very nice landing.
She has been good on the beam all year long. Her average coming in a 9.855 and expecting a number right in that neighborhood. That takes care of rotation one. When we come back, top two teams in the Pac-10, UCLA and Stanford in action. Welcome back to Tempe, Arizona. There's still some winter in some parts of the country, but here it's about 80 degrees outside. That's why most people end up living down in the desert at some point in their lives. After one event, and remember the three teams at the bottom yet to be in action. We'll see them here in the second rotation. Oregon State, California, Arizona State, and Washington. We heard a lot of noise from Oregon State over on the bars in that first round. Rotation two, Arizona on the vault, Stanford bars, OSU on the beam. The Bruins for the first time in action on the floor. And keep in mind that Stanford is your Pac-10 champion, and here is Ariana Berlin, a sophomore from UCLA. And just a great story, the co-Pac-10 freshman of the year last year with Oregon State's Jamie Lance.
A lot of personality in this routine. We just saw her second tumbling pass. You can see right now that she's having a great time out there.
Ariana is probably the best story in the meet. As a 13-year-old, while living in Southern California, she was involved in a near-fatal car accident. It completely ended her gymnastics career at the time. She had to have a rod inserted into her right leg. And so she went to dance. And through dance, she met the UCLA head coach, Valerie Condos-Field, who was choreographing dance in San Diego at the time. And after a couple years together, Ariana said to Condos, you know, I'd like to get back to gymnastics and walk on at UCLA, even if all I can do is a cartwheel. Condos said, we'd love to have you. It's a great story. They work together. She comes back as a freshman. She's not only competing, but she's an all-around, and she's the co-freshman of the year. It's just an unbelievable story, an athlete and a coach giving a kid a second chance.
Exactly. When you see her perform out here, and you know this is where she should be, out on the floor competing for UCLA. Very nice whip double full. You can see that dance background throughout that routine.
Yeah, she used to be in a dance troupe down in San Diego that's pretty famous in this community called Culture Shock. And you got to figure that she just appreciates every moment now. And she and her head coach, there's Valerie Condos-Field. Five NCAA championships for Valerie Condos. Mandy Rodriguez now. Oregon State. Mandy Rodriguez, a freshman, and she grew up in Los Angeles. She worked for a time with the Mexican national team. Give a little international experience.
Each routine on the balance beam is about a minute and a half. Every athlete has to include their tumbling series, their leap series, their full turn, all those different elements. Standing front, very difficult, solid landing. Right into a standing back tuck, back handspring, swing down.
Rodriguez coming off her best performance in terms of all-around all season long. Last home meet against Cal State Fullerton went 39-4-5-0.
Nice leap series, switch leap to straddle jump, showing great flexibility on the straddle jump. Been a very nice routine so far. Double staggering, straddle jump, right to a pike jump. And dismounting with the front 1.5. Very nice landing. Great start for Oregon State.
Pretty fired up. Her teammates come out to meet her. High tens all around. A lot of smiles. Oregon State has a lot of momentum early on. They were good on the bars and so far good on the beam.
Here's another look at her dismount. A Rudy off the end. And she spotted that ground and went for every extra tenth she could get on that stick.
We talked about Stanford already. Stanford 6-0 in the Pac-10, and they beat UCLA this year to win the Pac-10 regular season championship.
Very nice. Pack salto down to the low bar. Coming up, preparing for dismount, winding up. Beautiful double layout, perfect landing, nice job.
Alex Pinchuk for Stanford. Her teammates waiting down in the bullpen, a long run to them, but they're all waiting for her. Getting Stanford out quickly. Pac-10 Gymnastics Championships. Decent crowd still filing into Wells Fargo Arena on campus at Arizona State University. Jim Watson alongside Amanda Borden, part of the Magnificent Seven. You know, I can't remember a day I didn't go to my niece's house and see your poster over their beds. It's a big thrill for me.
Hard to believe it's been 11 years.
Yeah. Here's Carly Janiga of Stanford now. We expect to see a lot of Carly today.
Having to wait for the judges there. That can be a mental game. You're prepared, you're ready to go, and the judges quite aren't ready to go. But
Janiga.
Carly's very experienced on this event.
Yeah, and she's another all-arounder. We talked about her at the top of the show. Only 4'11" and a hometown kid from Paradise Valley here in Arizona. Second highest all-around average in the Pac-10 this year at 39.375, and she had the fourth highest all-around in conference this year when she threw up a 39.575. And I guess for people at home, anything over 39 in an all-around is pretty impressive.
Very impressive.
Now we're set.
She's so dynamic on this event. I mentioned it earlier, judges are looking for the vertical lines. Every time she casts a handstand, hitting that line, beautiful right there. She flips right back down, shoot handstand onto the low bar. To hit back up to the high bar. Finishing with a double layout, very nice.
Number one in the Pac-10 in bars average. 9.910 is her average on the season coming in. You can see why.
Performed a double layout dismount, but more importantly, the landing on this double layout is what counts. Beautiful form in the air, seeing the ground and not giving a tenth away.
Janiga had a 9.950 was her season high earlier this year on the bars. We'll see much more of her. Only 4'11", but a big talent. Jordan Schweikert, UCLA, on the floor exercise, the 5'4" junior from Las Vegas. Finished third in the all-around in the Pac-10 championships last year.
Very nice fruity layout front half to a Shushinova. Finishing out that routine.
Now we just got the tail end of that. A lot of stuff going on at one time. We'll take a quick timeout and return to Wells Fargo Arena in Tempe. You're watching the Pac-10 Gymnastics Championships on FSN. We continue on the floor with UCLA's Ashley Peckett, 5'1" senior, Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. A season high 9.925 in this event.
UCLA always stands out on floor exercise. They have gorgeous choreography.
Well, we talked about Valerie Condos Field already. Her background is not gymnastics, it's dance. I think ballet was her emphasis.
Wow.
She loves to choreograph the dances.
Very big first pass. Coming right back with a second tumbling pass. Front. Through to a full. Not sure that was supposed to be a full, actually. Wow. See, very creative. A lot of personality throughout all these routines.
You've seen a lot more dance in the floor exercise over the last couple of years?
You know, at the collegiate level, definitely. I think it's the event the crowd loves to see, and I think it's an event that most gymnasts love to do. They get to show their personality and have a good time out there. Finishing with a double tuck, very nice landing.
Background right before that last tumbling pass, she saw a man in a light blue shirt. That was Chris Waller, the UCLA assistant coach. He was dancing back and forth, moving just as much as his athlete. I think a little bit nervous. Tough for the coaches. Here's Tabitha Yim, last year's all-around champion. A bit of an upset on the uneven bars for Stanford.
Starting right off with release moves, up to the high bar, back down with the shoot to handstand. Beautiful line there. You see a lot of great routines on this event. The difference between wow.
Perfect.
Full twist and go back. Between the 9-9 and the 9-9-7-5 are going to be the vertical lines and landings like that.
We're just stuck at arm. Not a step, not a bobble. And hops over to a teammate. Tabitha Yim, top 5 bars average this year at 9.885, and I would think she'd get at least that score. Brooke Barkley on the beam for Oregon State. Tied for 4th in the Pac-10 in beam average. Again, same score at 9.885. Big number.
This event is always the make or break in about every gymnastics competition there is. And you know, now being a coach, I teach my kids to be confident on this event because it is the event that will make or break what teams finish on top.
Did you like the beam?
You know, I love to practice the beam. Competing on the balance beam was very difficult. It took me many years to figure out how to be confident enough to go out and do it when it counts. You can see the little balance checks, all the little adjustments. Typically, that's when you're holding back. You're not being as aggressive as you normally are in practice, and that's because there's something on the line. There's a little more pressure when you're out here in front of all the people.
And Amanda, to take that a step further, if you have to do it in competition, you want to lead off with it, or do you want it as your last event?
You know, that's a great question. When I was an athlete, I tried to look at both the positives, but to be honest with you, starting on the event can be tough because you have a lot of adrenaline. It's not the best event to have a lot of adrenaline on. However, to get it out of the way and move on to all the other events is always a positive too.
Yeah, I'd like to burn it and get it behind me.
Very nice gainer full off the side.
Barkley, 5'2", redshirt freshman from Coeur d'Alene in Idaho. Back over to the floor exercise, UCLA's Anna Lee.
Very creative floor work. A lot of times I watch the routines and I just get caught up. I forget that I'm actually watching a competition. Instead, it's just such a performance. Really enjoyable to always watch. Beautiful dance series there. Getting ready for the final tumbling pass. Takes a lot of endurance, about a minute and a half. Beautiful Rudy, slight hop there on the landing. Very nice.
UCLA's Anna Lee. Back to the beam, and Jamie Lance will probably follow Jamie Lance for most of the day, one of the favorites here today. And just a sophomore, you know, it's funny because she was a co-freshman of the year last year, along with Ariana Berlin of UCLA, and it just seems like she's been around a lot longer. I always forget that she's still an underclassman.
That's right. When you see athletes come out with the experience and the confidence they have, you'd think she would be a senior. She's very consistent across the board on all events. And to be that good of a competitor as a sophomore is a great thing for Oregon State. Beautiful flexibility. Straddle jump to a back handspring swing down.
You know, I talked to her last night just for a few minutes, and she told me when she was a kid, she cut her hair so she would look like her hero, Amanda Borden. True story. And she made me promise I wouldn't say it on air.
Beautiful switch leap to straddle jump. Not surprising to see this from her at all. A very solid routine. Dismounting off the side, gainer full, perfect landing.
Ready.
It's going to be a big score.
To the floor, Tasha Schweikert, UCLA. 5'2", junior. Yep, Tasha and Jordan Schweikert, UCLA. Season high 9.95 on this event.
Wow. Beautiful whip, double full punch front. I mentioned it at the beginning. Very dynamic. She's so fun to watch on this event.
A lot of wow factor in the UCLA floor exercises.
That's right. She's got the tumbling. She's got the dance. She's got the drama. Very cool.
You know, it's funny when you see them interact with their music and it really comes alive, and then you wonder why more people don't do that, work right off the music that way.
Yeah, well, you know, it's so entertaining for the crowd. I know that the judges obviously are looking for that too, but when you see an athlete get that involved in their routine, it's hard to, I mean, if they nail the tumbling, they nail the dance, and they perform it like that, it's got to be a huge score.
There's Valerie Condos, her coach, whispering in her ear right before this tumbling pass.
One more to go. Finishing with a double pike. Wow.
Not a
you
lot
said the
wrong with
wow
that.
factor.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sure is. Even the crowd here at
She
Arizona
knows
State
it.
giving her, look, she's pumping her fists and playing to the crowd. A high 10 from Chris Waller and runs back to the bench. Great effort by Schweikert on the floor. Earlier, Jamie Lands, Oregon State, dismount on the beam. Perfect landing. 2007 Pac-10 Championships inside Wells Fargo Arena on campus at Arizona State University in Tempe. Jim Watson with Amanda Borden. Let's take a look back at Tasha Schweikert on the floor. A nice exercise, got the crowd into it, right with the music.
Beautiful full twisting double tuck, perfect landing. Finishing that routine with a double pike, and again right there, not a tenth of a deduction there on that landing, and you can see that score, 9.95.
Wow, that is a nice mark, 9.95, almost perfect. UCLA, though, still trailing. And remember, this is after two events, UCLA, Stanford, and Arizona not competing in the first rotation, so those are a little skewed right now. But Oregon State is out quickly on their first two events, the bars and the beam. Rotation 3, UW on the vault, Cal on the bars, Stanford beam, ASU is on the floor. And UCLA is going to get another bye here. Here's Tabitha Yim, last year's all-around champion, and is the defending Pac-10 champion on this event, the beam.
Beautiful front aerial. Going right back at that tumbling series, back handspring layout, perfect. She's very aggressive on this event. I watched Tabitha in the Olympic trials in 2004, so she has a lot of experience, but what always stands out to me is how aggressive she is, how she attacks each event. Beautiful switch leap straddle jump.
You can tell when there's a big performance going on or a big name in action because most of the other gymnasts will turn and look over their shoulder. Yesterday when I came in during warm-ups, she was on the beam and everyone in the gym was watching her.
Beautiful. Round of double full, slide hop on the landing. And to be honest with you, that was the only deduction I saw in that entire routine. She finished right here with a round of double full.
Right
beautiful
on
in the air. You can see just a slight hop on the landing.
Boy, her heels were hanging right over the end of the beam. She had just the last inch of the wood. Just enough. Let's go over to the vault. Ashley Howden, UW. Last time out against Seattle Pacific, a 9.95 on the vault.
Very nice. Yurchenko full, perfect landing. Such a great vault. It starts at a 10-0. You can see the ground before you land it, and that's the way to stick it.
That was so smooth, and there was a lot of patience when she was in the air. She spotted the landing and just didn't hurry anything.
Beautiful.
Bridget Glass now for California. Getting set for her routine on the bars.
Right up to the high bar. Very nice form there on that giant blind to a Jaeger, pike Jaeger, very nice. Giant full, pack salto, excellent form there. All that's left is the dismount. Little short there on the handstand, winding up. Double layout, very nice.
Less than thrilled, it looks like. I think she felt like she rushed those last couple of moves. Amy Precourt now on the beam.
Very creative full turn there, little balance check. Beautiful switch side, showing great flexibility. She has great extension through her legs, all the way down through her toe point. Taking a deep breath right here, dismounting, front full. Very nice landing. You can see every team is fighting for every 10th they can get right now because they know that's what it's going to come down to.
Yeah, and it's contagious now in the room. You're seeing good performance after good performance, team to team. We go back to the bars, and Lydia Williams, California, sophomore from Toronto, Canada, back in action. Had an injury earlier this year, broke a toe, and was out for quite a while. They're expecting big things from here for a time. She actually worked out with the Canadian development team. Got a couple of 9.9s on the bars. Probably her best event.
Mounting on the high bar, nice shoot to handstand. Right back up to the high bar. Beautiful giant full. Right to a Tkachev. Very important that the athletes finish their full twisting elements right on top of the bar. Giant blind, double front. Very difficult landing. You can see a step there. It's actually a blind landing. She cannot see the ground as she's finishing that flip.
Not bad. They'll absorb that little step on the landing. I like the effort.
Good job, Lynn.
Gary Dubois, Cal coach. Good enthusiasm. You know, they come in with a little bit of momentum. They didn't beat anybody in Pac-10 this year, but they won a three-way with Davis and Sacramento State and San Jose State before coming here, so they got a good taste in their mouth. Carly Janiga now, the beam for Stanford. And a season high of 9.9 on this event and a season average of 9.825, very consistent.
Beautiful back handspring layout. You can really tell the athletes that get up on this event and know their confidence and know they're ready to hit the event. They don't put their body anywhere they don't want it. Oh.
And couldn't hold it, just as we were talking about her confidence. Maybe a little too much. Feeling pretty good about herself. Now she's got to regroup.
Wow. Not only is that 5/10 of a deduction, but now she's got to regroup, and the rest of her team has to regroup and pick it up.
Oh, your rhythm, your cadence, your confidence, it's all gone.
It's so unlike her. She's such a consistent athlete.
It's got to be the hardest moment in gymnastics, other than maybe a fall on the bars or something, when you just tip over on the beam. You got to get back up and start over.
Yep. They practice that, though. That's part of the sport is, you know, leaving the mistake behind. You still have 3 other events to get to, not only finishing this routine, but moving on to that next event. Finishing with back handspring, double full. Definitely came back from not a expected routine, but not what they wanted to see from her. Let's take another look at her dismount. Back handspring, right to a double full. Pretty good landing there, slight hop, and you can see on her face that wasn't the routine that she was looking for today.
And Stanford is expecting big things. They're number 5 in the country coming in. They were 6-0 in conference in their last meet of the year. They beat UCLA. That is a big statement.
Hi, Mom.
We'll take a break. A little shout out to Mom at home, Lydia Williams. She's got a reason to smile. Good effort on the bars. Pac-10 Gymnastics Championships on FSN from Arizona State University in Tempe. Jim Watson alongside Olympic gold medalist Amanda Borden. Let's go back to the floor exercise and pick up April Boone. Tied for the highest floor average in the Pac-10 this year at 9.89 with UCLA's Tasha Schweikert and UW's Ashley Houting.
She has some very explosive tumbling. Opening up with a full twisting double tuck. Great height there. Little bounce on the landing. This is a great event to perform on in front of your hometown crowd. Getting ready for that second tumbling pass. Whip through to double tuck. Very nice. You can see a little over rotation on there on those tumbling passes, but adrenaline, excitement, those are all things that you have to be able to control at the same time. Call this point in the routine breathe time. We're getting some dancing, catching your breath before that last tumbling pass. It's only a minute and a half, which doesn't sound like a long time, but a minute and a half on a floor routine is very difficult. It takes a lot of endurance.
It's like a 3-minute round in boxing.
That's right.
You're amazed how tired you get.
Last tumbling pass. A little short on the double pike there, but overall pretty clean routine.
And a house favorite, of course. April Boone, Arizona State University. And, you know, ASU, just 2-4 in the Pac-10 this year, but this is a program on the rise. They're ranked 25th in the country right now, and solid coaching, and they're returning some of their own. You look over in the tunnel, there's a couple of Arizona State alums. That's Ashley Kelly, who was she's now a graduate assistant, but she was the beam champion of the Pac-10 in 2004 and 2005, and also on the staff as an assistant. Former Maggie Germain, now Maggie Germain Ethier, who was an All-American a couple of different years here at Arizona State, and now is married to Andre Ethier, who plays for the Los Angeles Dodgers and led the National League in rookie batting for most of last season. And her uncle is Joe Germain, the old quarterback from Ohio State, who's now playing in the Arena Football League with Utah Blaze. And John Speed, of course, the head coach, and man, he's been here, since they broke ground, like
it's up 25, over 25 years, I believe.
My goodness. Oh, good for him. Stability in the program, doing a nice job developing coaches and former athletes. And time for a break for everybody. We'll take one right along with them. Official Performance Machines of the NCAA and the Pac-10 Conference is a proud sponsor of today's Pac-10 Gymnastics Championship. See the all-new Pontiac at your local Pontiac dealer today. Good look at Wells Fargo Arena at Arizona State University. Here on FSN, it's the Pac-10 Gymnastics Championships. Jim Watson, Amanda Borden with you. We've seen some good performances already, just a few bobbles. And these are the team scores after 3 rotations. Stanford, the regular season champion, undefeated in the Pac-10 at 6-0. Oregon State second, Washington, then California, Arizona State, and a surprise to see UCLA all the way down. Now remember, UCLA and Arizona still have a rotation to make up. But UCLA is not having a great afternoon so far, but it's still real early. Rotation 4, Bruins on the vault, U of A on the bars, Cal on the beam, Oregon State on the floor, and ASU, Washington, and Stanford getting a bye this time around. Let's go back to the floor. Mandy Rodriguez, Oregon State.
She had a very solid beam routine. It's always a great feeling coming out after beam, coming onto this event. Very nice double arranging. Step out of bounds there. That will be a 10th of a deduction. Again,
like
that's a difficult landing. They can't see the ground till their feet basically hit it.
It seemed like her line was off. She went to the short part of the mat.
You can see she actually tumbles a little crooked, not straight down that diagonal, and of course that is a big difference when it can give you an inch or two or so.
Oh, absolutely.
Last tumbling pass to go. Finishing with the front 1.5 to Shushanova. Can't take a deduction on that landing because they're supposed to be on their stomach. Besides the first pass, though, very nice routine.
Michael Chaplin, the assistant coach, in the background, applauding the effort. Wanted a little bit more out of it, but she held it together. There's Tanya Chaplin, the head coach. Husband and wife team there in Corvallis. And let's go over to the vault and pick up UCLA's Ashley Peckett. Instead, let's go to Aubrey Kelly on the bars. Aubrey Kelly, and this is an historic routine for her personally. She broke a bone in her foot and has been out 2 months. And this is her first routine back. So, hey, why don't you join us at the Pac-10 Championships for your first time back? And because of that effort, we'll make her our State Farm Pride of the Pack. We called an audible there because we wanted to catch that routine.
A beautiful routine. U of A already had one fall on the bars. Again, that adds pressure, but she seemed to handle it really well, performing great release moves and a beautiful full twisting double tack at the end.
So our head coach, Bill Ryden, with a high 10 as soon as she landed and gathered. And they're ranked 15th in the country coming in. Now we go over to Ashley Peckett of UCLA on the vault.
Performing Yurchenko, Arabian. Big step there on the landing, but very powerful vault.
Just moments ago, we showed you Aubrey Kelly on the bars. This is her dismount.
A beautiful full twisting double tuck, spots the landing. You could see straight legs there when she landed. A little difficult to stick that way, but very nice routine.
Let's go back to the vaults. UCLA's Jordan Schweikert, who finished second on the vault with a 9.90 to her sister in a loss last week to Stanford. That was a great meet.
Well, watch this power right off the vault. Beautiful full twisting Yurchenko. Very good landing.
You know, Schweikert's both are just so consistent. Just don't have any breaks. Arizona's Karen Worm now on the bars. 5'4" junior from Landenberg, Pennsylvania. Second best average on this event in the Pac-10, averaging a 9.9. Stanford's Carly Janiga averages a 9.91.
Beautiful dismount there. Perfect stick. You can see her coaches are thrilled with that routine, and they need a big score at this point.
She's coming off a 9.925 in their last meet.
And see the release right there for her dismount. It's a good windup. Full twisting double tuck again. You can see plenty of time to see the ground. Puts those arms out and nails it.
On that move, is it designed to let go of the bar with both hands at the same time, or you let go one a little bit later to start your torque?
You know what? It depends on the twist. If a lot of girls choose to twist right off the bar, you'll see them let go one hand at a time. Some cases they do a later twist, more of a half in, half out, or a full twist on the second back flip. Then they should be letting go with both hands at the same time.
Yeah, I just noticed it on the replay, and I wondered if it was intentional. It worked out for her. Back to the floor, and we'll pick up Oregon State's Jamie Lance. And we mentioned before, she's coming off that career high in the all-around, a 39.625 at home against Cal State Fullerton. And in that meet, on this event, the floor, she had a 9.925. That, too, is a career high. Tanya Chaplin, her head coach, on the right. How about the job the chaplains have done in Corvallis? Oh, nice handshake. Keep it very businesslike. Good luck to you.
Get some last-minute reminders. You can see him talking about the importance of landings, making sure you look for the landing and pop right to a finish so that there's no deductions there.
There's the husband and wife team, Michael and Tanya Chaplin. And Oregon State was third in last year's Pac-10 championships, and they hosted those. And Corvallis loves their women's gymnastics. There's Michael Chaplin. I'm telling you, they draw 3,000-4,000 to their home meets. People are excited. And the gymnasts, when they walk around Corvallis, they're known. They're like basketball players and football players. People know their names. They know who they are. And this young lady is already a star. She's got a couple more years in front of her.
Opening with a double pike. Very nice landing.
She grew up in Eugene, of course, the home of the University of Oregon, and not really a defector because the University of Oregon, of course, does not field their women's gymnastics team. So no hard decision there. Just go right up the road.
Great energetic floor music. She gets ready for her second tumbling pass. Rudy, the front 1.5 twist. You can hear her teammates going wild in the background. Move into the corner for that third and final tumbling pass. Been a beautiful routine so far, looking for a clean landing. Full front layout, very nice.
Not a lot wrong with that. Good reaction from her teammates. Oregon State continuing to have a pretty strong day as a team. Michelle Selesky, UCLA on the vault.
Yurchenko Arabian, very nice landing. Most athletes are choosing Yurchenko fulls because they can see that ground before they land, but that was a great landing there.
And she lets out a hoot, pumps her fist, and gets a high 10 from Valerie Kondos. We'll take a break. Pac-10 championships on FSN. Arizona State University hosting the Pac-10 championships here 2007. Next year, we go to the University of Washington in Seattle. Carly Janiga, Stanford now on the floor exercise.
Getting ready for her last tumbling pass here. Very nice whip through to 2.5. Very nice landing. You can see that smile on her face, very excited. Great routine. The whole Stanford team has had a lot of energy today. You can see coaches are happy, teammates are happy with that routine.
I think they're a little disappointed, underachieving just a bit. They've been a great team all year long, number 5 in the nation coming in. Won the Pac-10 undefeated at 6-0, beat UCLA, and they're expecting real big things from themselves. But we're not quite done. Let's go over to the vault and pick up April Boone. Arizona State coming off a 9.875 in a loss to number 6 Utah in the last meet of the regular season.
She's performing Yurchenko full. She has a lot of power, so she's looking for a clean landing. Great form. Whoops, slight hop there on the landing.
She had a season high of 9.9 on this event, but that probably won't quite get there. Let's go over to the bars now, and Chelsea Bakken, competing for the University of Washington, but raised here in nearby Mesa, Arizona.
Opening with the Ginger, slight leg separation there. Right through shoot to handstand, back up to the high bar. Winding up, finishing with a double layout. Slight hop on the landing, but very nice routine.
Let's now go back to the floor and pick up Nicole Arata for Stanford.
Opening with a pike full in, beautiful landing. You can see she actually landed on a mat there that is allowed in competition. Coach has removed it so she can get ready for that next tumbling pass. Whip, immediate double full, great height there, beautiful landing. Stanford always has great choreography as well. Head coach Kristen Smith doing a lot of their floor routines. And I love it when I see the athletes having a good time out there. I know for me, floor was my favorite event because I got to show my personality to the crowd as well as the judges. There's Coach Kristen Smith watching on. She gets ready for that last tumbling pass. Finishing with a double pike, very nice. They had a great rotation on floor.
And Stanford and Kristen Smith, they've become the power in the Pac-10. You know, it used to be all about UCLA. Stanford won the Pac-10 championship last year. They won it in 2004. They were the favorite coming in, 6-0 in conference, 4 Pac-10 titles. Second most of any team, of course, UCLA far and away the best through history in the Pac-10, but history starting to catch up with the Bruins. Go back to the vault. Cassandra Giacino.
Watch this vault. Talk about power. You don't see too many girls performing a handspring layout front. Very difficult. And perfect landing. That is nothing but power.
You got to absorb all of that energy with your wrists right off the table. And a hug for the effort. Nice work all around by Arizona State. Chelsea Bakken on the bars for UW. Goes to school in the Northwest, but coming home to the desert. Inside Wells Fargo Arena in Tempe, Arizona, the temperature outside was about 81 degrees today in the Valley of the Sun. Inside, a perfect 72 for the Pac-10 Gymnastics Championships. After 5 rotations, Stanford, your regular season champion, has nosed in front of Oregon State, 147.450. And the Beavs and U of A, Washington, Arizona State, and California, they're all on the same rotation. UCLA still down a rotation right now. Go to rotation number 6. The Bruins are back in action on the bars. Oregon State on the vault, UW on the beam, and the Golden Bears of California on the floor. Stanford, ASU, and U of A taking the segment off. We'll go first to the vault, Oregon State. First time tonight they've begun an event in anything other than first place. Megan DeVincenzi, 5'3" junior from Rohnert Park, California, just north of the San Francisco Bay Area. Been a bit inconsistent on this event this year. Season high, though, of 9.90.
Performing Yurchenko, Arabian or layout half, slight step there on the landing. That will start from a 10-0 though, so it'll still be a decent score. Let's take another look. Didn't quite get enough there off of the vault. You can see a little short on the landing, having to step backwards. Take a 10th, maybe a 10th and a half on that landing.
Yeah, explain a little bit more about that recoil off the table, off the vaulting table, because you really want to spring off of it.
Yeah, a lot of it has to do with what kind of angle you come into the vault, of course, but then, yeah, they want to get as quick and fast off of the vault as possible.
Ariana Berlin, UCLA now on the bars, tied for second best bar score this year, a 9.975. And we talked about her before, overcoming that terrible car accident at the age of 13 and still competing now with a titanium rod in her leg. A great story.
Well, and she just always looks like she's having a great time. Beautiful handstand. She wanted to point out there that she hit that vertical line. Giant full. Winding up. Full twisting double tuck. Very nice routine. Take another look as she gets ready for the dismount. Starts with a giant full. Then winds up with 2 giants. And see a nice full twisting double tuck. Sees the ground. Slight step there on that landing.
Let's stay on the bars with UCLA. And I believe Tasha Schweikert is up next. Let's go to Tasha Smith of Oregon State on the vault. Defending champion in this event, 9.925.
She had an amazing floor routine tonight. She looks like she's on fire. She has a ton of power, ton of energy, which of course really shows on both floor and this event.
She brought the house down earlier today with a great floor exercise. Unfortunately, we weren't able to show you that one. A little Michael Jackson moonwalk, playing to the crowd, getting everybody all hyped up.
Yurchenko full, great height. Again, dropping it right in for a perfect landing. She's got such a fun personality to go with all the moves she did on the floor routine as well.
Yeah, with all these athletes and everything going on at once, unfortunately, we just can't show you everything. And that was one of the events that just didn't make the show. Let's go back to the bars with UCLA and Jordan Schweikert. Finished second on the bars last year in the Pac-10 championships with a 9.90. Liz Tricos of Stanford won the event last year at 9.925. And you know, the same story has been this year. She has the second best score in the Pac-10 this year at a 9.975, and you wonder, how in the world is a 9.975 the second best? Liz Tricos had a perfect 10.
Beautiful form there on that ginger. She's showing beautiful vertical lines again. That's the difference between a 9.95 and possibly a 10 right there. That cast handstand really holding it, showing it off. It's ready, giant full. Right to a double pike. Wow. That was a beautiful routine. Let's take another look. She does a giant full right to a double pike. Nice smooth swing, beautiful release, and right there, doesn't move her feet at all.
And just sells it. You know, it's the word that always pops in my mind when I watch either Jordan Schweikert or Tasha Schweikert. They're just so consistent, and they're solid. Let's go to Jamie Lance now on the vault. Co-freshman of the year last season with UCLA's Ariana Berlin, you just saw, and a season-high 9.925 on this event.
Well, she's had a great competition today.
Yeah, coming into this competition hot off her best all-around.
Yurchenko full. Very nice landing. You know, it's so impressive because she's just consistent across the board. Not necessarily the biggest, best vault you'll see tonight, but again, just posting those solid scores.
Yeah, it's funny, the four athletes that we featured at the top are so consistent across the board. They don't have any bobbles, no weak events. And here's the other of the Schweikert twins, Tasha Schweikert. Won the Pac-10 championship in this event in 2005, a couple of years ago, with a perfect 10, and then tied her teammate Kristen Maloney for the all-around title.
Beautiful routine so far. We mentioned it earlier in the show. She is dynamic and powerful. She brings it on this event also. Getting ready for the dismount, double layout. Very nice.
Yeah, she likes this event, huh?
She should be pretty proud of that routine.
Yeah, likes the bars at the Pac-10 championships.
She's a very fluid swing to the entire routine as she gets ready for this double layout. Spots the land. You can see her foot adjust just a little bit. Very nice routine, though.
Yeah, just disguises it just a little bit. And disguising the emotion right now because she's not finished. Schweikert's, of course, have grown up in the spotlight of gymnastics. A lot is expected, and they've paid off and fulfilled almost all of that potential. Stay on the bars with UCLA and Anna Lee, second best bars average in the Pac-10 at a 9.9. Carly Janig of Stanford, a little bit better than that, first in the Conference of Champions.
Well, at this point, UCLA has counted 2 9.9s on bars already. It's been a great rotation for them.
It's just what you want to see as a coach, right? You want to see those increasing increments every time.
That's right, putting that routine up at the end that really hits. And she did a very nice job there. Let's take another look at her dismount, double layout. See a little hop on the landing, but again, perfect form throughout the routine. That might be the only deduction right there.
Check in with an athlete we haven't seen too much of so far tonight over on the beam. Kelly Gilbert, University of Washington, 5-foot sophomore from Phoenix. Actually, it's Ashley Howden. So we're just out of rotation here just a little bit. Us, not them. Ashley Howden got us started with a great floor exercise earlier tonight.
Beautiful back handspring layout, very solid. Beautiful side semi. Gives you a good perspective of how big that beam is. It's about as wide as a foot. You can see right there, it's 4 inches, so there's not even room to put your feet next to each other.
You know, my question would be why? Why does it have to be 4 inches?
You know what? We've quite often asked ourselves that question.
Who came up with that?
It's amazing, though. Very nice front full. When you practice it on this event over and over, it does seem to be more than 4 inches by the end of all those years.
Well, even the training beams that are almost on the ground, they're just up about 10 inches. It's tough just to walk end to end.
Let's take another look here at her dismount. Front full off the end. See, very nice landing. Great routine.
Letting the smile come out just a little bit. Well deserved. Enjoy the hug. Oh, you can see just how tight it is. No room for error. Comes through big. It's the Pac-10 Championships. If you'd written it out on paper about 3 hours ago, it probably would have been exactly like we're about to see. It's going to play out right in front of us with UCLA and Stanford probably deciding this. Now, Oregon State, Washington, California, they're all finished. They've gone through all of their rotations. So UCLA and Stanford now look to be battling it out. Arizona's still in the hunt at this point, Arizona State. But it looks like it's down to UCLA and Stanford, and why is that not a surprise? The last 10 Pac-10 championships have either been won by the Stanford Cardinal or the UCLA Bruins. So we'll decide it right here as it should be in rotation 7. Stanford on the vault, UCLA on the beam. Arizona State will be on the bars, and Arizona is on the floor. So it's Stanford and UCLA, first and second in the conference regular season standings, and Stanford won the conference by beating UCLA in the final meet of the regular season in the Pac-10. We'll start on the beam with Ariana Berlin, UCLA.
We talked about, is this a good event to end on, start on?
Yeah.
There's really no good time for it, but this is tough right here. When it's coming down, there's a tenth or so between both of these teams. This is the difficult event to finish on right now. Very solid start, back handspring layout, step out. And at this point, every girl on the team knows what's on the line. They know it's a close competition. And again, that competitiveness or that pressure will either help them stay tighter, more focused, or it can make them crack under pressure, is what we used to say.
Man, I would imagine the coaches have a very clear idea of exactly what they need. Would they translate that to the athletes?
You know, I think there's two different methods. There's athletes that rise to the occasion as far as the pressure, hey, this is what we need to do, can you do it? And then there's other athletes that just want to go out and do their best. And I think every coach probably knows what the best way to handle their team is. But a great start for UCLA.
Yeah, you got to know your kids. Ariana Berlin, the co-freshman of the year last year with Jamie Lands of Oregon State, and a big high 10 and a hug. You had a kiss on the cheek from Valerie Condos Field, yeah. Yeah, it was a nice start. You get a smooch from the coach. Yeah, you did something well.
That's right. Well, they know that leadoff position is getting the team rolling on this event. It's just getting up there, nailing these routines, and getting done with it.
So remember, it all comes down to Stanford and UCLA, and the Bruins have thrown the gauntlet down right there, trying to beat Stanford, the champion from last year. This is Ashley Peckett now of UCLA, or it will be momentarily. There she is. She was up the tunnel, I think, talking to herself. You know, these are those moments when you're in the middle of a crowded arena, all your teammates, all your coaches, the judges, and you feel so alone. Nobody can help you, huh?
That's right, and it's very difficult to be a coach right now. They've done their job. Now it's up to the athlete to get up there and do it. And you'll see a lot of athletes talking to themselves, trying to get their mind in the mode of it's just one more routine. We used to call it autopilot. Get up there and do what you do a million times in the gym every week.
But Amanda, in '96 in Atlanta, was it like that? I mean, you had the whole country not only watching, but most of them were there. You were stateside in the Olympic Games.
Yeah, you know what? I always say it's almost a strange feeling when you get in these moments and your body goes into autopilot. You don't even have to think about it anymore. You actually let the routine happen. Your body has done it so many times. And at this point, when the pressure's there, that's what your body needs to do. Do what it knows how to do.
All those hours and hours and hours in gyms just training with nobody around and going through all the grunt work to get to this point and then having to pay it all off.
Very nice. Back tucks. Beautiful
Nice.
height there. Great landings. Switch lead to tuck jump.
I think Valerie Condos has a way of challenging her athletes without applying extra pressure.
Well, that's the key.
Yeah.
Helping them learn how to be confident and aggressive and want to accomplish great goals without putting added pressure that helps, that defeats them.
Yeah, you pardon the obvious pun, it's a tough balancing act.
Very nice pike jump with the full twist.
Gripping that beam with the toes.
Excellent dismount.
So 2 beam routines for UCLA and 2 pretty good ones. And they're gaining momentum. Another look at the dismount.
Very nice gainer off the side. Again, spotting that landing. They know it's going to come down to every 10th they can get right now.
Yeah, just very deliberate. She's done 1,000 times. Let's go over to Stephanie Gentry on the vault.
This is a great event to end on. However, it will come down to every landing they perform. Yurchenko full, slight hop, but you can see they're going to go for every stick they can possibly get.
Yeah, before they were having a lot of fun, everybody was laughing. You can see it's much more serious now because this is why you work the whole year. So we've got Ashley Jenkins now for UCLA on the beam. They've already had 2 good routines in a row, and now you ask a freshman to step up and maybe match her season high of 9.9.
Definitely helps when you have 2 routines ahead of you that have really been good, solid routines, posted good scores.
Yeah, it is funny how those leadoff athletes can really set the tone. If they bobble and have problems, then it becomes contagious, and if they stick it, everybody gets excited and builds off each other. They feed. Got a hold?
Oh, no.
And remember, UCLA can throw one of their scores out, the low score.
That's right. So that means they want to throw that out right there. So that puts added pressure on the rest of the team. Standing layout, step out. After you have a mistake like that, there's a lot of things going through your head. It can be really difficult to regain your composure and finish the routine, especially when you know you have the rest of your team counting on your score as well. Standing back tuck, slight wobble there. She needed that connection there. Back tuck, back tuck. She had to repeat it again. Getting ready for the dismount. Front Rudy, great landing there, but again, not the routine UCLA needed right now.
Yeah, a tough moment for the freshman, but a learning experience. She got 3 more years, and Condos knows it. Well, it is a razor-thin difference between UCLA and Stanford, and we will decide the Pac-10 championship when we come back. Pontiac, official performance machines of the NCAA and the Pac-10 Conference, is a proud sponsor of today's Pac-10 Gymnastics Championships. See the all-new Pontiac at your local Pontiac dealer today. As expected, we started with 7 and we are down to 2, the best 2. The Pac-10 Championships will be decided between Stanford and UCLA. Stanford won it last year in Corvallis. Stanford Cardinal on the vault. Tabitha Yim, who had a 9.9 earlier this year on the vault.
Well, such a close competition, and like I mentioned, these vaults will come down to the landings. Performing Yurchenko, full. Small hop there, but great vault.
So pressure on every movement, every event right now. Alex Pinchuk for Stanford, and they have to come up big each time.
It's another big dynamic vault. Yurchenko, Arabian, pretty much a perfect landing there, and that's what they need to do.
So now they set the standard. Meanwhile, the Bruins on arguably the most difficult event, the balance beam. Jordan Schweikert.
Well, not only difficult, but they already had one fall happen in the lineup, so the pressure is on these bottom three. She did a very clean routine. Right here, dismounting off the side. Gainer full, perfect landing.
And then Annalee, a freshman. How about this? You're a freshman, you find yourself second to last on the beam trying to decide the Pac-10 championship for your school.
Well, beautiful dismount right here, and she knows that was a great routine. Flawless.
And from Jordan Schweikert to Annalee to Tasha Schweikert, and we keep talking about the Schweikert's consistency at a high level that they just never seem to crack.
Well, if anybody knows how to handle pressure, of course, it's Tasha, former Olympian. But this event really came down to this routine. Like we mentioned, you can throw out that low score. So as long as she posted a great score, they counted 9.85s, 9.95s, and then she brought this routine. Flawless. She gets ready for the dismount. Round of double full. Perfect landing right there, and she knows it.
Yeah,
and her team knows it.
When she salutes with two fists in the air, she's pretty sure that she did her job, and she certainly did that. UCLA fans celebrating, maybe taking a little sting out of the results in Atlanta from earlier. Go Bruins, and then the team officially gets the numbers, and UCLA is once again the Pac-10 champion, the 13th time in their history. And on the other side, it's always the other side of the coin, isn't it? One team celebrates and another talks about the next step. At least in gymnastics, they have the regionals. Your individual results. Tasha Schweikert, UCLA, wins the vault. Uneven bars, Liz Tracas from Stanford. Balance beam. Annalee and Tasha Schweikert, money when it counted most. And the floor exercise, Tasha Schweikert. Your gymnast of the year, Tasha Schweikert, UCLA. Freshman of the year, Carly Janiga. And co-coaches of the year, Joanne Bowers and Kristen Smith. That is going to do it for us. For my broadcasting partner, Amanda Borden, our producer, Dennis Kirkpatrick, our director, Tim Lay, and the rest of our FSN crew, I'm Jim Watson saying so long from Tempe, Arizona. UCLA has captured the 2007 Pac-10 Gymnastics Championship again. Just call it lucky number 13. We'll see you next year in Seattle.